Hello and welcome to the West Yorkshire Football Show. I'm Stephen Downs, and with me today is my bearded Huddersfield Town supporting colleague Callum Scott. You all right, mate? How are we doing?
I'm not so bad, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. We've not done a town special for a while for different reasons. Our other regular contributor Zach is once again flying all around the earth, and we just can't get hold of him, Cal. It's amazing, really. But
It's the
obviously,
international correspondent.
yeah, he is. So, but we will get him back for those that are Zach fans. We will get him on in a future episode. But you stuck with me and my boy Cal for this one. Um, Obviously, we're doing this as a pre-record, Cal, just purely because there's some news apparently that's happening with the big yellow skip down the road. But we're not going to concentrate on that. We're here to talk about Huddersfield Town. So, unfortunately, whilst we're not live, we can't get people's comments in. But please do comment on the video once it goes up. Please give the channel a like and subscribe, and also just comment on the new graphics that we've got going. Cal, you look very nice in the blue shade. I must say.
I feel it, mate. It cloaks us both very well.
So, in terms of Huddersfield Town, obviously we know we got relegated at the end of last season. We don't need to go back over that. Michael
Please
Duff has
don't make
come
me go
in.
back over that. I just try and
Uh,
I've spent in the time that we haven't been doing a podcast, I have been purging every single match day from my memory. Apart from Millwall at home, I've purged everything.
no, I've done similar, mate. I've done similar. So we're both, I think, quite looking forward to the League One season. Not being in it for 12 years now. We're playing some opponents that, well, we haven't played for 12 years. Stockport County, Wrexham, we haven't played since about 1936. That's an overestimate. I don't even know the last time we did play Wrexham, to be honest. Stevenage, we've come up against before. Lincoln City, obviously, old playoff rivals. And our friends from down south in Peterborough United, who we can't wait to rekindle that love in relationship, to be honest. Cal, how are you feeling and how have you been over the last couple of weeks? Obviously, no town sort of stuff going around. There's been bits and bats, and we're going to get into some of it, but it's been quiet, really.
You know what? I think it's been quite nice because of the disconnect and anger that sort of last season stoked in me and a lot of people. It's been quite nice to just have some time to think, right, okay, reset now. We have been relegated. We make of it what we can. It's a whole new season in every way, really. We first season in League One for, like you say, 12 years. We get to play all these teams again that we've not played for donkeys, apart from Birmingham, and there were teams that came down with us, but we don't have to worry about that. So it has actually been quite nice. And for everything that's been said, I still find it the hardest thing to do as a town fan to explain why we have such a dislike for Peterborough. It makes to anyone else, it makes absolutely no
Yeah,
rational sense at
yeah.
all.
But the thing is, like, when people say it to me and they go, "Oh, why do you hate Peterborough? It's such a weird like rival to have." You need to know the historical context of for the last 3 decades they have tormented us in different ways. And there's just been a love-hate relationship, haven't there, with them? Whether it's losing to them in the playoffs, losing them to in the playoff final, relegating them out of the championship, and just having various players go between the clubs and but let's be honest, Barry Fry. I mean, if you need a person to dislike in football, then Barry Fry was probably one of them for a lot of town fans in the 90s.
I always have horrendous flashbacks of Craig McHale Smith.
Yeah,
Anytime
George
anyone
Boyd.
mentions that name, oh Jesus Christ, that's just it's just the worst thing ever. But there is, I think, a feeling of optimism around town again. Finally, I'm certainly feeling it. Got my season ticket after all the complaining that I did last year. I was like, first in line, of course I will. No worries, I'll be there again. Absolutely.
But that's
and
why
like,
we're glutton for punishment, Cal. That's the thing, right? And that's why me and you I would call us proper supporters, where we will support the club through thick and thin. And
yeah,
my God, we've had some thin over the last 12 years, haven't we?
it's
Even
been
in,
thin and thinner, really, to be honest, hasn't it?
in terms of the positivity crumbs, we are at the bottom of the biscuit barrel. So it's kind of, like I said, to have a positive attitude going into a league that we've not played in 12 years is a bit of a weird feeling, really.
Yeah, and I don't really know what to make of it because a little bit of me looks at the table and goes, "Oh well, we're going to be up there. Of course, we're going to be up there." And then more of me goes, "Yeah, but we're Huddersfield Town. We shouldn't be up there. We should be worrying about finishing mid-table and dropping points against stupid teams. It's that championship mindset that I can't shake it.
Yeah.
I cannot shake going into a season and looking at like being favourites for certainly playoffs. And I'm like, that's so strange. We're not favourites for anything ever.
I'm liking this air of confidence though, because like you said, we did have a Lincoln fan on the main podcast. I don't know if you saw that chat a week or two ago, and he was saying they came seventh, I think, last year. So they just missed out on the playoffs, but their whole attitude this season is to try and retain their better players and go one further this time, even if it's finishing just in that bottom sixth place. Where I think for us, we're coming down and everybody's going, well, the three teams that have come down are going to definitely be up there. But it's not going to be as easy as all that. There's 12, I count at least 12 teams that, should be challenging up there. I think the other 13, 14 teams are not brilliant, if I'm honest. But there's 12, 13 teams that are definitely going to be a stiff test this season.
It reminds me a bit of going into the championship last season because you had the three teams that came down. You thought, right, they'll fire back up. But then at one point in the season, you had almost the exact split in the table where it was like, right, anyone from mid-table could go up,
Yeah.
and anyone below mid-table could go down.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of them, innit? It's going to be like you've got all these teams fighting. It's going to be close.
Yeah.
There's so much money in League One now. even the likes of Wrexham, massive investment. Stockport, massive investment. These are not going to be teams that are just going to go into that league, play around a little bit, and possibly get relegated. That won't be their plan. Their plan will be to go and to try and cause problems for teams like Huddersfield Town, Birmingham City.
Yeah, I mean Wrexham, is a pure example of what money buys you in football. They've come up from the National League. I don't know what your opinion is, but League Two is, I don't think, that hard of a step for a National League team to make if they get it right. I think Chesterfield will do a very similar thing. I think you look at Stockport; they've done well as well. Wrexham, even Notts County. I know they faded away at the end, but they started brilliantly as well. Where League One, to get up to the top teams in this division is definitely a bigger step, I think, and it's just whether Wrexham buy the right players to make that jump. I think for us, it's the other direction. There was a lot of problems at the end of last season, and we don't need to go over them again. But it's who are we gonna sort of reinvigorate to take on the League One season, or who are we looking to depart the club? There's only been Jack Radoni that's left the club at the moment, apart from the retained list. He's gone to Coventry for what seems to be believed to be 3 million plus add-on, maybe rising to 5 million, depending on if probably Coventry win the Champions League or something in the next 3 years. I think that the two clubs is quite interesting. Us and Wrexham, we've got different parameters and we've got to work in different ways.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to sort of the gulfing class, and I'm not saying that disrespectfully. I mean, the Wrexham players that they had that last year, some of them might have been League One standard, so the rest of the players have got to bring themselves up to League One standard.
Yeah.
Now, the problem with Town is almost reversed. We have got some Championship players.
Yeah.
But a large part of the players, especially the younger players, will be League One players. So as we go down, those players then adapt to that level, and it brings us all onto a sort of level playing field. So I think we'll see more in terms of maybe not recruiting 10 or 11 new players. I think that the younger players that we've already got, the academy products, the players that were signed as a bit of a project, might start to come into their own a little bit in League One now that they've got the space to be able to operate at the talent that they currently are. And in a season where there's going to be a hell of a lot less pressure and I think a hell of a lot less scrutiny on performance.
I think, yeah, you make a good point, and what I would also say is that, I think some fans pretty quickly thought we might be signing a lot of players, and that doesn't seem to be the case. Other clubs have. Whether you would say the players that other clubs have signed, Rotherham and Burton, particularly, they've signed, I think, 11 and 9 players each, respectively. Whether those players are League One quality, only time will tell. But I think, some fans may be starting to be a little bit frustrated at our lack of activity. We've brought in Lasse Sorensen from Lincoln. I don't know how much you knew about him beforehand. Obviously, we've not really played against him, but he looks like a very decent player, to be honest. Had a run out at Emily yesterday, which we'll go on to talk about. But I quite like that signing. Right wing back, we needed sort of to reinvigorate that position, particularly in a Michael Duff 3-5-2 formation. And he looks like a good buy. Lots of energy, quite young, and the quality can always be worked on, but it's getting in the right positions, and he seems to do that, and he did that for Lincoln last year. I think he scored 6. I think he had 6 goals and 9 assists, something like that. So it reminds me a little bit of Tommy Smith, to be fair.
It's one of them signings, isn't it? Like, we will see through more signings what Michael Duff's looking to do, but certainly that signing shows me he's looking to build up strength in the team. Difficult to break down, strong on the ball, lots of energy, and just strong in general. Not going to be bullied off the ball. That's the sort of signing for me. He's a young lad, yes. He's played at Lincoln, but he's got strength in abundance. He's technically gifted, and it suits us well in the style that I think we're going to play. Sort of looking maybe to try and frustrate teams and play around teams. Certainly at the lower level of that table in League One, that's something that he will certainly be able to help with.
Yeah, and we obviously we both said really, just as the season ended, that we knew we'd been relegated that we needed to go and pick the best players from some of these League One clubs, and Sorensen definitely was that for Lincoln last season. I mean, you have to give credit to Skabula and what he did with that Lincoln side last year, because I don't think anybody believed that they would be finishing 7th, and he got them to a whisk. Well, I think on the final day, results just sort of conspired against them, and that was the reason that they didn't get into playoffs. But to go and nick, I think he was their player of the year, shows the kind of caliber that Lincoln thought about him. And I really liked his first interview. I thought he came across quite mature, to be honest, for a young lad.
Yeah, I think I agree. A lot of confidence where confidence is needed, but none where it isn't. If that makes sense, he's not getting ideas above his station. He knows he's got a lot of maturing to do.
Yeah.
But I think he's also confident in his own ability and coming into a side that's, let's not mess about and let's not lie. A side that is fractured, that is a little bit damaged after last season. We've been battered and bruised. So we need players to come in like that have got the confidence of finishing 7th last season, having a really good season. They've got that confidence and they can just lift the whole team up.
Yeah, because he was in a side, like you say, that was very positive. So the more positive characters that had good season last year, and they're coming into the group will surely just lift that cloud of darkness that was on the squad last season because of different factors.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I'm hoping anyway.
We've also been linked with Mikel Miller from Plymouth on a free transfer, a left wing back, slightly older, 28, made 30 appearances last year, most of them from the subs bench. From what I understand, he's a little bit injury prone. But then it wouldn't be Huddersfield Town if we didn't sign somebody that wasn't slightly injury prone. But quick, pacey, good on the ball, and I'm slightly surprised, Cal, that we're looking at a left wing back because obviously with Spencer last season, making such a good impression in the second half of the season when he came back from Motherwell. I thought that'd be his position to grab, but I slightly suspect that they might be trying to make him a centre back.
Yeah, I suspect that could be what's going on, and if the departments of analysis and whatever else we've got, the department for player sock wearing, I don't know what modern football teams have got these days, but probably something along those lines, think that that's a good position for him and something that he could adapt to, then yeah, I'm more than happy to obviously try him in that role. But one thing that jumps out to me about that signing particularly was that when the lad was playing for Plymouth, yeah, he mainly came off the bench, a little bit injury prone, but he's a little bit like, he's got the same temperament as a Michael Hellick. He just puts his body right in the way of the ball.
Yeah.
He just gets stuck in, and he loves a yellow card.
Are we saying that for all for all gambling people out there? Gamble responsibly, by the way, but maybe put a yellow card on Mr. McKell if we get him.
When the fun stops, stop.
Yeah, I mean, he does look a decent player, and to be honest, like if we're going to get him on a free, why not? He's played at Championship level, like I said, so coming down to League One, you should hope he will be able to make a big difference.
You'd hope so, and I certainly hope so. But to be fair, that signing is probably the signing I've seen the least of in terms of it being publicised that we're going to get him.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. Like we say, there's always, in terms of this time of year, there's always rumours in football, and some of them will turn out to be true and some of them won't. But it's been interesting to see the sort of calibre of players that we're going after. To be honest, like we've said, the top players in League One and like Championship standard players, it seems like we're going for, and that's probably testament to the money that we can throw at it now because of the new ownership, and also I think a lot of it is to do with the reputation for growing players that Michael Duff's got.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of goodwill around our current manager, to be honest, which is only a good thing, isn't it? Particularly when we get to the stage of maybe trying to get hold of a few Premier League loans as well. Just one player that I want to touch on that we've also been linked with before we talk about our main target is Evans from Bristol Rovers. Now, people might be saying, oh, why are you signing a player from Bristol Rovers? But let's remember, clubs like Peterborough have signed players from even lower down in the football pyramid and gone on to make a lot of money from these players who have had big moves and done really well. So let's not, besmirch the fact that he's been Bristol Rovers' best player. He looks quite a good player. He's called Evans. I've not seen a lot of him, Cal, but from what you read about him, again, a bit of a creative midfielder, likes a tackle, gets stuck in, but sort of knows how to play football in the middle of the pitch, which I think from pretty much 90% of Town fans probably are going to say the one area that we are most concerned about at this moment in time, if we don't lose anybody else, is the midfield area.
Yeah, and it's, again, what I was just saying, like I've seen that we're going for this Evans lad, and I don't know a lot about him, to be honest with you, but again, looks to be cut from that cloth, looks to be cut from that strong, bold player, holds up the ball, moves the ball well, it looks for the pass, the sort of possession style of football that I think we're going to see Huddersfield Town play a lot of fits right into his game. So it's clear that there's a type of player that Duff and the recruitment team are going for. And also, it's quite nice to see us being able to compete with teams around us for signings. You know, I saw that. Who else was in for this? Evans, was it? Derby? Portsmouth and Derby. It's like, you know, it's nice to see that we're able to compete with clubs around us for signings compared to what when we were signing. There were no competition on the players that we were signing because nobody had heard of him.
Yeah.
And we're just signing, you know, and some of them, have turned out to be great signings, but a lot of them have been really poor decisions in retrospect.
I think the thing about this is, and we'll come to talk now about Alfie May. Obviously, Charlton striker, 31. Most people think he's 426, but he's actually aged 31 in later this month. Scored a lot of goals for Charlton. Scored a lot of goals in his career, actually. You know, plenty of football clubs. Cheltenham was at Cheltenham with Michael Duff, obviously. Played for Doncaster, and he's been at Cheltenham now for, I think, 2 years. What do we think out of this one? We had a bid accepted by Charlton on late Friday, I want to say, and we had a bid rejected earlier in the week, and then I think we went back in. We had a bid accepted of £750,000, probably plus add-ons, which I imagine would take it to £1 million. Birmingham have then come in and offered something along the lines of 765 grand, so maybe something like 15-20 grand more. And gazumped our offer, and that happened late last night. It seemed like the Alfie May deal was all done and dusted and probably was looking to be announced Monday. And now Birmingham's come in and hijacked our deal. What's your thoughts about it? Do you know any inside information? Have you rang Alfie's cousin, or seen him on seen him on a cricket pitch anywhere in your vicinity to ask him?
I have not, unfortunately.
That's disappointing. What are you bringing to this podcast then?
Witty insights and a wonderful beard. That's all I've got to offer you. But I like this deal. I think this is the sort of player that we should be going after. You know, he's experienced. He knows where the goal is. That's exactly what we've been crying out for seasons now.
It's not happening, though, is it, Cal? It's not happening, is it? Birmingham's coming now.
Well, come on. Look at who Charlton's manager is.
Yeah, I know, but that's got nothing to do with Birmingham coming in, has it?
Waiting for it. Someone could have come in. Solihull Moors could have come in and offered £1, and he'd have gone, "Yeah, all right, bet you can have him."
Is that your best Welsh accent?
Yeah, it's not great, is it?
No, it's not great, no. But yeah, I mean, Birmingham have got this apparently £20 million wage budget, which I don't believe that. I mean, League One, come on, £20 million wage budget.
£20 million wage budget, that's just... No.
But I think I am a bit worried that this story came out last night, and by all accounts, people are going, "Oh, Birmingham are in the lead to sign." I'm a bit worried now because I think, like you, whether he's 31 or not, he knows where the net is, and he'd be perfect in our system. I think him and Reece Healy up front would actually make a very, very good partnership.
So the thing that I've seen, like just this morning, is that we are still the front runners to get his signature, right?
Breaking news from Cal.
It's not looking good.
Right.
I don't know why. It sounds
explain. Please explain.
There is no reason as to why we wouldn't be the club that he wants to go to, but
why are we front runners? But it's not looking good.
So somebody's put on Twitter basically that although they've accepted the bid from Birmingham, Alfie May wants to join Huddersfield Town.
Nice.
So good.
Yeah.
But it's Huddersfield Town, isn't it?
See,
So
this is the thing, Cal, right? This is the answer to every question in it. We could be genuinely on the verge of winning the Premier League, and we'd still both sit here and go, yeah, but it's Huddersfield Town, isn't it? There is a way to muck things up.
yeah, we'd just probably, I don't know, we'd get his name wrong in contract negotiations, so that would mean that technically we haven't signed Alfie May, we've signed Walfie A or something like that. I don't know.
What was the one two transfers ago with the lad from Newcastle? What was it? What were his
Oh,
name? Aaron's, and the fax machine didn't work, even though
yeah.
nobody's used fax for 30 years.
Nobody's used fax since 1994.
I tell you what, we won't send an email to the EFL. We'll do it by fax because everybody
Fax
uses
'em.
fax.
That'll take them by surprise.
And we'll also send a note by carrier pigeon too.
That's town.
Oh god! Well, do you think we'll get him, man? Well, I mean, on a genuine note, he would be a great player for us to get, wouldn't
Yeah, and you know, people have raised a good point. Is like if Alfie May goes to Birmingham, the only reason he's going is for the money.
he? Yeah.
So, do we really want a player like that at town? The answer is probably yes. But I'll take my little victories where I can if he does go to Birmingham and say, no, I won't want a player like that at town. Whatever, didn't want you anyway. Shut up.
But then secretly cry inside, like, oh,
Secretly.
because the other thing is, if he goes to Birmingham, right, and I spotted somebody yesterday who did make a good point that
Insider knowledge.
that
Insider knowledge from Stephen Downs.
there's no insider knowledge, but basically, I agree with the person's point of if he goes to Birmingham, it is a bit of a mental strike against us, isn't it? Because then we've got, which is clear, Alfie May is our top target. There's no other person that's come out and said, "Oh yeah, but Town are in for this striker or this striker." Alfie May, we've clearly identified him. We've gone into this summer, and that's the guy that we want.
Yeah.
If we don't get Alfie May and he goes to Birmingham, and we're playing Birmingham this season, that is definitely a mental strike against us, I think.
It's definitely scoring 2 against us.
But it's true. But then you've got to go down your list, further down your list. And I don't know if Town's got a... Have we got a list?
We've probably got
Does the list exist? Does the list exist?
We've got a fact of players.
Because there's been no other rumours about anybody else, and the fact of the matter is that we have let Jordan Rhodes go. He has now signed for Blackpool on a permanent deal. We'll come on to talk about Emily yesterday, but you look at the other strikers that we've got, Reece Healy, I think he's going to do well this season. I've got great confidence in him. But again, we've got to look after him. We're going to be playing over 60 games, hopefully, if we do well in the Cups. So he's been injury prone in the past. Danny Ward, as much as I like Danny Ward and I always have done, he's injury prone. Radulovic still looks like that he doesn't know really what country he's in. And you look at the other strikers, Tyrese Simpson, and Hudlin, and Hudlin and Harrott. Well, we obviously know Hudlin probably will end up going back into the under-21s or going out on loan somewhere because he's not the quality that we need. And Keane Harrott, as much as there's promise there, he'll probably, knowing him, I don't know, get suspended again after his current suspension. So
Start beating up chickens again.
It's just we haven't got a lot of great options up there, have we? So we need to get May over the line, I think.
But as well, I don't think. I know we keep saying this. Well, it's Huddersfield Town, so anything could happen. But I don't think we'd be that stupid as to go in with one target for the summer. I do think there will be more. And I think if we get knocked back by Alfie May, if he chooses to go to Birmingham over the delights of Huddersfield, that's on him. But I think there will be other options. They will have assessed other players. There will be, other players because like you say, I'm not confident in the players we've got at the minute to be able to provide. I just think in any position we need a little bit of an injection of something new. We were stagnating at the end of last year. and if you keep the same players, you get the same results. I know we're in a different division. I know we might get more positive results, but I just think we need to refresh the team. You know, we've refreshed the dugout almost entirely. So I think let Duff build his side.
And I think the fan base is slightly refreshed as well. To be fair, I think we've come out of a division that we've been in for, you know, except for the Premier League years, 10 out of the last 12 seasons, and we've always been sort of battling against relegation, Bath, the 3 campaigns that I talk about. So I think, in terms of our mindset as a fan base, we've kind of gone, I think the majority of people have gone, right, we got relegated last year. We've had us moan and us whinge about that. Let's now get on with it and get behind Michael Duff, who actually seems to be a decent character and seems to know what he's doing, and so I do think there's been that mental mindset refresh from the fans. We just need now the team to be refreshed.
Yeah, I agree, and I, like I've said earlier, it's the same for me. It was so drab, bless you, so drab, so dull, so it wasn't a happy place to be at the end of last season.
No.
We were coming on here and we were pretty much saying there's not a chance that we're going to stay up and all sorts. And, we were... I think I had to deliver some home truths to Town fans and to ourselves quite a lot of the time. Whereas now everything's a little bit more upbeat and nice and positive, forward-looking. I'm looking forward to seeing Michael Duff. I like him. I think he'll get the best out of the players that he puts out on the fields.
Yeah.
I'm more confident in his appointment than I have been for the appointments immediately after Neil Warnock.
Yeah. Let's go on to talk about what happened yesterday then. Huddersfield Town. We're recording this, by the way, on Sunday morning. So what date is it?
Is it still
what
morning?
Is it today?
30th
of June, Sunday morning. So obviously yesterday we played our first pre-season friendly against local team Emley AFC, fantastic local football club. Doing great work up there, lots of volunteers. The board is really good and they're really trying their best and they're on an upward curve and momentum as a football club. So Town for the first...
Was it the FA Cup that they did really well in this year?
Yeah, they got to they played Alfreton, who obviously is in the National League North. So that was a great sort of opponent for them to play. They did really well in the league as well. They won their division, and now we're going up to the next division where they play. Well, they've got like 7 West Yorkshire derbies. Cal, they've got Liversedge, Brighouse, Ossett.
Oh, so they're going up to.
They're going up to the National League. It's called the National League Division 1. That's what it's called.
Yeah, because then you go up to the Northern Premier League, which is where FC United were. So yeah, because I remember when they played Liversedge, that was good fun. That meant I could come on for a weekend.
So they're playing a lot of local sides. So obviously, best of luck to Emily for their upcoming season. But yeah, Town went there yesterday with 3 different teams. We changed the side every half an hour. The last team was virtually an under-21 side with Tyree Simpson, who's only 22 still, but he was chucked in up front as probably the only senior sort of first team player that was in that team. Town won 5-0. I think that I don't know how much you saw of it, Cal, but the third and fourth goal, Emily probably will be disappointed with. But overall, fantastic day. 1,600 people up there at the fantastic media welfare ground, and a good run out for Town. And it was nice for Town fans to meet Michael Duff, sort of on the football pitch, as it were, for the first time.
I always find that situations and games like that are quite good because throughout the course of a football season, especially supporting a Championship or a League One team, there can be quite a disconnect between actual football and the people that watch football. You know, almost like they're lifted to a higher pedestal. Whereas when you go and you play a pre-season friendly up in Emley, you've got Michael Duff walking about with 2 cups of tea for his backroom team, and you've got all Town players walking down this dodgy back street to get to ground in HD9, and you're like, that. It brings, I think, the supporters and the players a little bit closer together.
Yeah.
When you can't be disconnected to them because they're just there.
Yeah, and Michael Duff also did the half-time draw at Emley as well. So I think somebody won a breakfast or something that he pulled the ticket out for. So
cracking non-league stuff, that is.
I think that was it. Something like that.
Raffle. Yes.
Yeah, they made 450 quid on the raffle, which is going to be donated to a local school as well. So that was a lovely part of it as well. So
it's good that town do these friendlies, you know.
Yeah, just not all the way in Cornwall where nobody can watch them.
Oh, exactly. That's just ridiculous. And you know, the rest of the pre-season schedule is looking like a little bit of a shambles once again. But yesterday was a good thing, so we'll just leave that there.
Yeah, I think they're going on to play Guiseley next, so that's a slight step up in opposition. Obviously, a higher non-league side. The game against York City has been postponed. I think because of the Euros. I'm not too sure. It might be because of the rugby. And then the team go off to Austria for a pre-season camp. We still don't know who we're really playing over there, I don't think, unless you've seen anything to the contrary. Carl, are you going over to Austria for it?
No, I'm not.
Thanks for that.
It's all right.
And then they come back, and I believe our last game is against Harrogate Town of League 2. So, yeah, I think the pre-season is definitely more structured, if a little bit chaotic at this moment in time.
I think this pre-season is not for anything other than to build some match sharpness.
Yeah.
Which is what we are desperately needing. And if you need match sharpness, it doesn't really matter who you're playing against. I know we said that last season, but that was taking the mick. You know what I mean? That was genuine pub sides from Cornwall. At least these players that we're coming up against, the players that will play in Austria, Guiseley, they are operating at a sufficient level where they might test a couple of the Town players, you know, and it'll be a good run out for them either way.
I think yesterday's fixture is the local element. That's what I liked about yesterday. Yeah. It's getting the fans of Emley together, who a lot of Emley fans are Town fans anyway, and vice versa. And that was just a lovely day yesterday. And it gave Emley as a football club some money to go out and do what they want to do within the team and their club and community. But then what we did last season is we didn't move on from that local pub side, and we didn't step it in open opposition, where this time we are looking to do that. And at least that makes me a little bit more confident that we've learned, or we know what we're doing, or we have some degree of control over what's happening in pre-season.
Yeah, definitely. I think, as well as the problems that we had last year, that was already a side that was almost ready to be fractured. It would take just one thing, and you'd have Sober Thomas posting on his Instagram story about the club doing whatever, and how much of a joke this is, or whatever, time to change the narrative. Whereas now, we're all everyone's sort of bonding, or hopefully bonding a little bit more back to the direction we need to be pulling in as a club, not individuals, as a team. And I think Michael Duff will relish games like Emley because it gives them a chance to bring these players a little bit more back down to earth, and to show them that actually there is, outside of your little football bubble, there are things going on. And every single person that turned up at that little ground up in HD9 yesterday will come and support their local team, but will also come and support Huddersfield Town.
We move on from pre-season now. We can talk about the fixtures, because the fixtures came out. How excited were you for fixture release day, Cal? Were you jumping on the sofa at 9 a.m.?
Not sure jumping on the sofa was was accurate, but I did do the what I do every year, which is make sure that I add them to my calendar on my phone, so that I don't ever forget. That's such a handy feature.
It is. We'll go through. We won't go through every fixture, but I'll tell you the first. I'll tell you the first 5 league fixtures for Town. We play Peterborough United on Sky Television. First game out, 5:30 kickoff down at what's their stadium called now? London Road, is it? Is it London Road?
Oh, that might be great knowledge. Hang on a minute, let me find out. This is high quality podding going on here.
I think it's London Road.
Let's have a look. Oh, sublime, Stephen Down.
Is it?
Sublime.
Yeah. I told you.
Well
I know my football.
Technically, for sponsorship reasons, it's the Western Home Stadium.
All right. Well, it's still London Road, just like the, just like the Bradford City Ground will always be known as Valley Parade and not the Windscreen Wipers FC.
The
whatever.
University of Windscreen Wipers Alliance Stadium.
Arena. So we play Posh on the 10th of August. And then in the league, we'll talk about the league first. We play Stevenage at home, Shrewsbury at home, Rotherham away, and then Blackpool at home. They're the first 5 league fixtures. They make it up to the 7th of September. Quite difficult first 5 league fixtures there. Posh will be up there. I think Stevenage did well last year, so it'd be interesting to see how they bounce back after Steve Evans moving on to Rotherham, who we've got away. Obviously, we came down with them. And then Blackpool are going to be no pushovers either, Cal.
Tough fixtures. And I think I will either be one of 2 things after those fixtures. I will be incredibly confident because we'll have got decent results in those fixtures. And if you're starting with those teams, that's a real test of where you're up to in terms of, competing in this division and being up where people think that we should be.
Yeah.
If we can get good results out of them games, then there's no reason why we won't be up there. But if we get poor results from them games, I'm not saying it's going to be like panic stations straight away, but certainly, those are teams that we should be competing with.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good season.
Good.
Let's get behind the boys.
I'm going to make a mental note actually, and I'm going to say after that Blackpool fixture, I will ask you either is the League One title coming home to Huddersfield? Are we finishing in 11th? Or are we going to be seeing Chesterfield next season? Those are your options after the Blackpool game. Okay. We also had plenty of cup action in terms of draws. Sadly, Rod Stewart was unavailable to do the draw on Sky for the League Cup EFL fixture, and I was listening. I was on my way to Huddersfield train station actually to get a train to Manchester whilst this draw was being made, and I was watching it on Sky on my phone, and I was like, they do the seeded thing now where they do the south and the north draw. And when the north draw happened, I was looking through all the teams, and there was about I think there was 38 ties or 38 teams, and I think I said to my mum, I said I genuinely don't want 30 of these teams to be drawn against us. So I narrowed it down quite far, to be honest. One of the teams that I did want us to get drawn against was Morecambe, and we drew them at home. Can't remember the last time we played Morecambe. Sure, it was plenty years ago. But a good EFL League Cup tie, Carabao Cup tie there, Cal, for the first round.
I don't know whether it's just because we went down, but every day there's another reminder that we're in League One.
Yeah, but we couldn't get. We did draw Shrewsbury in this
This is
competition.
what I mean, right?
You know, in
When we were
2015,
we've
and we
we've
lost
had
to
some
them.
awful games. We lost to Shrewsbury. We drew. I don't even know whether this is the same competition. It could be the FA Cup. Lincoln at home.
That was
awful as well.
no, that was the League Cup because Cowley got sacked after that game, didn't he?
Sacked because Hodgkinson.
Oh no, not Cowley. Sievert.
Sievert, because
Yeah.
Hodgkinson was prowling the touchline at the end of the game on the phone.
Yeah, it was the
And
League
everyone
Cup.
was like, "Who's he on the phone to? What's he doing?"
Yeah.
And then obviously we had Port Vale as well. I think that was the FA Cup, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that was yeah.
That was rank. But like those games never felt as bad as this Morecambe game feels.
You see, the reason I liked this tie was because we haven't played them for years. We should, I say that in very big inverted commas, with a big if in front of it, we should be beating Morecambe to go through to the second round. But you just know because it's on a Tuesday night as well, there'll be about 5,000 people in the ground. Do you know what this game will remind me of? This game will remind me of years and years ago when we were in League One. The last time we were in League One, we played Dover on a Tuesday night in January in the FA Cup, and there was 6,000 people in the ground. Dover came and they played in an orange kit with black shorts, and I just thought, poor sods have had to drive all the way up from Dover on a Tuesday night to play in this game. Like, what? And I know Morecambe's not as far as Dover, don't get me wrong. I do know my geography. But it's still not a great tie for them to come on a Tuesday night, is it, if we're being honest?
No. And they won't. They're not very well travelled.
No.
Anyway. But they won't be. We won't be up for it. They won't be up for it. It's just going to be one of them. Town hopefully get a couple of early goals and then that's it. Just play out the rest of the game. No dramas. Into the next round where we'll draw someone that we probably lose to.
Well, I think it opens up in the next round, doesn't it? So you can draw anybody. So I expect us to be drawing against Charlton or, Reading.
So it opens up, I think it opens up to everybody apart from
top
sides.
European clubs. Yeah.
That's
so
the one, yeah.
Because even your relegated, your Burnley and Luton and Sheffield aren't even in this round, so they come in next, then it's the 14 after that, and third round's European teams. So I expect us to get through against Morecambe and then draw Charlton and Reading and lose. That's what'll happen. Because when has that never happened before? Do you know what I mean? I think if you remember a time like 10 years ago, I think we drew Charlton 3 consecutive years in a row against Charlton in the FA Cup third round. It was mad.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But the biggest draw of all, Cal, came on Thursday. We already knew we were against our 2 Yorkshire brethrens in the. I'm going to call it the Fish Finger Sandwich Cup. It's called Bristol Motors, but whatever. I mean, how can you name a cup right after a team that plays in it? But Bristol Rovers. I mean, I know it's Bristol Motors.
The Bristol Rovers trophy.
But Bristol Rovers. If Bristol Rovers don't win this cup, there's something wrong in there. But yeah, we're in the Bristol Motors Cup. It used to be named the Johnson's Paints Trophy, and we did actually get to the final of this cup in the 1994 season against Swansea when it was called Cow.
Oh, the LDV Vans Trophy.
No.
Ah!
No.
What was it?
Come on.
Oh, no. Oh, it's gone, mate. You're going to have to help me out here.
I think it was called the Auto
Glass. Oh, the Auto
Glass
Windscreen.
Yeah, it's the Auto Glass Windscreen Trophy. Anyway, that was a competition. So we're against Barnsley and Doncaster in this competition. And also Manchester United's under-21s team. It's a cup that we haven't played in for 11 years. So basically, what happens is you're in a group of 4. The top 2 go through to the next round, which I believe then becomes a knockout stage. All the games are preferably, I think, played midweek. You play everybody once in the group. I genuinely am interested to see what the attendance is going to be for this game, these games, particularly if it's the under-21s Manchester United team that come.
Poor. It's going to be poor, isn't it? I reckon we'll do all right.
Less than 10,000?
Oh yeah.
Less than 6,000?
No, I think around there.
About 6,000.
I think we'll do a bit more for Barnsley. Maybe a bit more for Doncaster, but the under-21s game, Jesus Christ, that's gonna be rough.
I don't even know where they play. Do you know where they play? Will they play it somewhere like Rochdale or?
I think they play in like I think they play at Lee's rugby ground.
League Sports Village, isn't it? Yeah.
I think that's where they play.
Amazing. I've been to Leigh. By the way, if that's where they do play it, due to my rugby league connections, there is a fantastic pub next to the ground. So all Town fans will be happy about that.
All the 10 Town fans will be bouncing about that.
And there's a big car park as well. Plenty of parking around there, so you'll be fine.
We can all get in one car. It'll be fine.
Should we be going and winning this trophy, Cow? How big is it on the agenda for us?
I don't care. I don't. I really don't.
Did you not get up for the draw when it happened? No. No.
Didn't even know it were happening, mate. And that's not. I'm not saying that to try and besmirch the teams in the competition. I'm sure the teams that win it, they've done well to win it, but that should not be anywhere near our priority this season.
No.
Our priority this season should be sorting ourselves out and getting to as close to the top of that table as possible. Any silverware we pick up on the way, fine, but don't let it be a distraction.
No, that is fair enough. That is my opinion too, to be fair. Although, there has been some cracking finals over the last couple of years in that tournament. Sunderland v Pompey, Plymouth, I think, won it last year against Bolton. Did they? I think so. I can't remember. So. I think so. Again, I would be happy if I got that question right, just like the London Road one. I think we'll probably leave it there unless you've got any other interesting topics to bring up, Cal. Obviously the Euros is on. We're going to stick this out this afternoon. So, how do you think England's played so far? We might as well touch on that for 5 minutes.
I think the tournament as a whole has been very, very good.
I've enjoyed it, mate.
Classic Euros, to be fair, from what I remember. It's been really good. And then the worst games I've seen and the most boring games I've seen have been the England games.
Yeah.
I just how can, and I know a lot of England's fans might not like me for this, or you might actually agree with me, most people seem to be. Southgate, right? Quite like the man. Yeah, but how can you take the best player in La Liga, one of the best players in the Bundesliga, quite a lot of the top talent in the Premier League, put them all together and make them play like they've never seen a football before?
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Yeah.
The tactical regression in that England team is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's not hilarious if you support England, but it's funny for me.
So are you saying that you don't support England?
No, I don't. Not at all.
You don't support England?
No.
Right. Why?
Not at all. I've always been brought up to be an Irish football fan.
You're an Irish football fan.
That's very similar to supporting Huddersfield Town, actually. They never win anything. They're never going to win anything. We're lucky if we qualify for a tournament, so you can never be accused of being a glory supporter.
Republic of Ireland?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, okay. Cool. Well, that's gone well for you this Euros. I didn't know this about you, to be honest. I've learned now. I don't really know what to say. Is the England chat a bit pointless then?
Well, no, to be fair, because I have watched all the games and I'm not I might have a laugh and a bit of banter with England fans, just like, yeah, it's coming home, yeah, whatever. But you know, the talent is there. There is no reason why that team should not be winning this tournament.
Yeah.
For every position that they've got a world-class player in it.
Yeah. Who have you most enjoyed watching in the tournament so far?
Player or team?
Team.
Team. Oh, I don't know. I quite like Germany. I think they've been quite good.
Yeah, I like Germany. The two I like is Germany and Spain, and the two underdogs that I've really liked watching is Switzerland and Austria. I think they've both been really good. The teams for me that have stanked the place out most is Belgium and Italy, apart from England. I think, not to be biased, I think Italy were an absolute disgrace the other night against Switzerland, and I think Belgium have been really poor. Really poor.
Yeah.
So
I think there's a lot of teams that have come into this tournament with a lot of expectation that haven't lived up to it, and
well, except for Scotland.
Yeah, no.
They get to the tournament and they knew we were going home after the third game.
Yeah, true.
Even Georgia had better expectations than what Scotland did, because Scotland
I really
just
enjoyed
knew.
watching Georgia. To be fair, really enjoyed watching Georgia and Romania. I thought they were quite good.
You pronounce any of the Georgian players' names?
Nope.
Fair enough.
Simple and clear. Nope.
Fair enough. Who's going to win it then?
I think Germany. Watched them last night, and even they didn't play very well last night. And even when they're not playing well, they look dangerous.
I thought Denmark did all right, if I'm honest.
Denmark played really well and probably should have had more out of the game than what they got.
Yeah. English officials made sure that they ruined the game. Even when we're not playing, even when England isn't playing, English people still know how to ruin football. It's brilliant.
This is it. It's Michael Oliver, isn't it? Huddersfield Town fans' favourite referee, apart from John Moss.
Yeah, and Stuart Atwell. That classic.
We hate them all. We hate them all, don't we?
Well, there was I can't ever remember the one. There was one that we had in League One years and years ago, and I'm sure his first name was Darren. And he must be one of the worst refs I've ever seen on a football pitch. Can't remember his name though. I'll have to look it up years ago.
Darren, is it Darren England?
No.
Is he a ref? Have I just made him up? Is he a referee? Darren England.
I think he is,
He's a referee. I haven't.
He's a referee.
He's a current referee.
Hey, we've done well, haven't we? Haven't we? You've got Darren England, and I've got London Road. We're on a roll.
That's not bad at all. That is it. This is elite.
If anybody needs a quiz team, you've got your two ins right here.
2 ins right here.
Right, I think we'll before we go on and talk about asparagus or anything else that we normally talk about on a Monday night chat. We'll probably leave it there, Cal. I'm sure you've got something to be doing this afternoon, and I'll be getting ready for the England game tonight. But thanks very much for everybody who probably has watched this video. It's been fantastic to talk to you on this lovely Sunday afternoon now, and we'll be back with more Town content very, very soon. But from me, it's been Stephen Downs. He's been Callum Scott. And we'll see you very, very soon. Goodbye.